Merkava is a zoner who applies heavy mix-up pressure once he is given an opportunity. For the most part, the Merkava matchup is a test on one's patience and the ability to successfully dash block. Knowing how to deal with 2-4 arms is half the battle in the Merkava matchup. 2-4A is minus 14. This means that after successfully blocking one, you can inch your way closer to him. This forces him to either change his approach or risk being punished once a character reaches a close enough range to take advantage of how negative he is. 2-4A cannot hit airborne opponents, so a good read into a well-timed assault or jump in can be used for a heavy punish. Be aware that 2-4A can be EX cancelled on block. 2-4B makes this approach more risky, as it is the anti-air version of 2-4A. A poorly timed 2-4B from Merkava's end leaves him open for approximately 40 frames, so he is easily whiff punished for going for the anti-air read. 2-4C appears to have a similar hitbox to 2-4A, but it has a 5-frame startup and it can hit airborne opponents. Thus, the least risky way to combat Merkava is to dash block or dash shield his 2-4A attempts and stay grounded until he changes up his game plan. Merkava's also attempt to control distance with jump 2-4 fireballs, but the same logic applies as the arms. Simply dash shield them until you win grid in order to take advantage of Merkava's mistakes. The next most important thing is dealing with Merkava's Oki. Merkava ends his combos with 100 hands into 2-2C. Without Vorpal, the worms can be hit. The mix-up becomes much more dangerous and risky to deal with when Merkava has Vorpal, as the worms can't be destroyed and are unpredictable. Merkava may leave himself in vulnerable situations, but there are only 2 guaranteed ways to get out of the mix-up. Merkava's mix-up starts from Merkava in flight. He then glides. If you're not in block stun from the worms, you can VO the dive. If you are in block stun, recognize the mix-up. After glide, Merkava can either go for a high, a delayed high, or an empty dive low. Once Merkava finally hits the ground, he is susceptible to guard thrusts. There are other mix-ups that Merkava can go for. Normally on block, Merkava has a variety of mix-ups that he can go for after 3C, and he can reset his flight pressure. If shielded, his options are delayed. He can be DP'd guaranteed. If your character does not have a DP, you can attempt to dash out of the corner after a successful shield. If Merkava flies, you will escape the corner. If Merkava falls, he is -9 upon landing for a punish. But still be aware of the worms. 4C is also a good overhead option for Merkava, but it is -7, so it's punishable at close range and even punishable by some characters on shield at a distance. 236A, 236B, and increased 236B are all punishable by at least 5-frame normals. 236C is only punishable on shield, but you must shield on the very last hit, and the timing is tricky even for top players. The potential risk for one to lose a guaranteed advantage is too high a risk in my opinion. Until someone comes up with a good method for timing the shield, just take advantage of the fact that Merkava is -3 for his 236C attempts. 236C is also not fully invincible and can be interrupted. Merkava's 623A is +1, however Merkava does not have 5-frame normals, so against most characters this puts Merkava at an even state and normals will trade. 623B is punishable by at most 8-frame moves. 623C is fully punishable for at most 36 frames. 5B is an 11-frame lengthy move that can be used immediately at round start. Unless you are certain your character can deal with this option, just allow him to win at round start. 4B is an excellent anti-air. Try not to approach Merkava from the air if you don't have a clear opening. Additionally, anti-airing Merkava can be tricky due to the downward range of jump C. Try and only anti-air with moves that have head invulnerability. Crouching A has a great stagger window for a light normal, and crouching C advances Merkava forward. Shielding is not necessarily the go-to option to get Merkava out of your face, as if he recognizes you shielding crouching A, he can grab for a shield break. And that limits your ways of dealing with his corner mix-up. Just wait for bad rebeats to take your turn back, as he does not have 5 frame normals and can't contest at frame neutral state. Overall, Merkava is a decent character, but he struggles once he can't apply his corner pressure for free. The universal uni options already mitigate a lot of Merkava's Oki, and characters with the Shoto-style DP have even more ways of dealing with the mix-ups. The Merkava matchup is a test of patience. Merkava relies on his opponents running out of patience and making mistakes. With proper knowledge and patience, the Merkava matchup can be made very manageable. If you have any additional information, feel free to provide tips and feedback in the comments.